Alright, so I watched this video by Alex O'Connor, or the Cosmic Skeptic, about Christianity's biggest problem. I thought, maybe this will be interesting and thought provoking. So the video started, right? And he started bringing up the problem of evil and suffering. And I was like, oh my god, here we go. Again, this non sequitur objection. Awful objection. Stupid. Awful objection. Non sequitur. But then it seemed he was, starting to divert or change his argument, where he was just bringing up the evil and suffering argument as a bad one. I was like, okay. My faith is restored. Keep going. So he kept going, and then he basically turned evil and suffering problem into a evil and suffering problem for animals. The biggest problem with Christianity is that animals suffer. And I was very disappointed to hear this from him because I'm not necessarily a fan of him, but I've heard some of his interviews and some of the things he said. He's not a Reddit retard atheist. He actually has some level of research done into the topic. So I was expecting some well formulated argument against either the existence of God or the resurrection of Jesus, but no. Animals suffer. And much like the evil and suffering problem, this presupposes something that I just don't think is true, and I don't think the atheist can even prove it's true. And what it presupposes is that if God exists, then this evil, this suffering, cannot exist. You can't even sustain that burden of proof for humans. And now, you're trying to sustain. If you can't do it for humans, there's no way you can do it for animals. And if you continue watching the video, you'll see William Lane Craig give a very PC explanation. I'm going to give you the explanation. It does not matter. Animals do not have souls. Animals are not held by any objective binding. They don't go to heaven. As much as I would love my old dogs to go to heaven, they won't. They don't have souls. They're just, what atheists call humans, oh yeah, we're just walking balls of meat because, there's no objective standards, there's no none of that on atheism. So we're just walking balls of meat under atheism. But what actually are walking balls of meat are animals. Just regular old animals. Tigers are walking balls of meat, dogs are walking balls of meat, etc. They don't really serve any purpose as far as the as far as religion goes. Obviously they serve a purpose in the ecosystem and our well-being, because I love animals. Okay, I love dogs, not cats. Cats are gay. Cats are for retards. Cats are for fags. But dogs, I love dogs. Dogs are great. I don't want to see dogs suffer. But that does not change the intellectual issue. There is no reason to believe animals cannot suffer in a world where Christianity is true. And this objection really strengthened my faith, because this is the biggest problem. The biggest problem doesn't have anything to do with Jesus. Jesus. Christianity essentially means follower of Jesus. The biggest problem with Christianity has nothing to do with Jesus. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Biggest problem, and people in the comments, like, video got so many likes. They were like, "Oh, well, that's a very thought-provoking thing." No, it's not. It's retarded. And to seal the deal, I'm going to use the Bible for this because within the context, I believe it is more than justified. Let me grab it. If you go inside of Genesis, and I'm not going to bother reading all of it, but start of the Bible. It's overexposed because the sun's right there, but start of the Bible. The first chapter of the Bible refutes this point very well. Because one, it says humans are to rule over animals. Right? And there is absolutely no suggestion that animals will go to heaven. And also, it's also narrated later in Genesis, I think it was chapter 8 or 9, it says, animals are food for us. We are to eat them. Why? I just don't see how one can conclude that animals somehow have rights or something of that sort under Christianity. Now, some retard's gonna be like, well, humans are animals. Think about the argument. Think about the argument within the context. Within this context, they're talking about the issue with Christianity. Under Christianity, humans and animals are different. Sure, they may both technically be animals, but humans are special. Animals aren't. So within this context, that doesn't make sense. It's not a good rejection for this. So as I said, the strength of my faith in Christianity, it should, if you are a Christian, strengthen your faith as well. And if you're an atheist, I would seriously consider why you aren't a Christian if this is your reason. Because, and if you want to disprove Christianity, you need to either prove God doesn't exist or Jesus didn't rise from the dead. Or not prove is the wrong word to use, or make it extremely, bring serious doubt to these things. Because, going up on YouTube and saying, Christianity's biggest problem is that animals suffer, does absolutely nothing to dissuade me.